What's up, y'all? Tis your boy Dreaded Don here, back again delivering you guys some other games I plan on picking up for 2026. Man, it's just it's a little crazy saying that we're 2026. Time is flying. At least for me. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great New Year's. Happy New Year's. I'm excited to get some stuff started on the channel. Excited for just to start the year off. Excited for all the games that be coming out this year, man. I'm excited. Just so excited in general, obviously. Anyways. Let's go ahead and get into some of the titles that I'm excited for coming out this year. Right? Let's do it. So starting the year off strong, we got Nioh 3, man, coming straight to you from a studio who just does not know how to miss, man. We got Ninja Gaiden from him last year. I spent way too much time in the Nioh 2 to ever call that one a miss. And then Nioh 1, I didn't really play too much, but I really like the way that the story intermingles with Nioh 2. And I think Team Ninjas is really good at doing that with their games in general. You know what I mean? So if you're not familiar with the Nioh series, it's a Souls-like game that trades the Knights and Dragons theme that Dark Souls usually has for demons and samurais. And so that's just putting it lightly. There's more mechanics, more nuances that separate the games from each other. But if you find demons and samurais more appealing, I'm gonna let you know that you might enjoy the Nioh series. And honestly, Nioh 3 even more so. Just because Nioh 3 is planning on giving you a brand new story where you don't have to have had played Nioh 1 or Nioh 2 to really understand it. And then on top of that, they're giving brand new gameplay mechanic where you're gonna have two different stances you're gonna be swapping between. With Nioh 2, you only had you had your one stance and you had an ultimate that you built up to, and it would put you into a mode called Demon, like you had your Oni mode or your Demon mode. And with Nioh 3, now you have two stances. You have your Samurai and your Ninja mode. And so now if you're familiar with some of the things from before in the previous Nioh games, you had your martial arts, you have your deflects, you have your key pulse, so that's your Samurai stance, right? And then you got your Ninja stance, where you're gonna have your ranged attacks, you're gonna have your dodges, you're gonna have your ninjutsu, things like that. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna spice up the combat. I think it's gonna speed up the combat, give us a new flow on things, give us a little bit new way to look at our encounters. So I'm excited for that. I'm always excited to play a Nioh game just because, bro, I like demons and samurais. What can I say? You know what I mean? And on top of it, I love a good Souls-like game, man. It's hard not to love a good Souls-like game. It drops on February the 6th. I'm definitely planning on picking it up. Thought I'd let you guys know about it. Making waves the same month, man, we got Tides of Tomorrow coming from Deep Silver, makers of Road 96. Now, I never played Road 96, but what I'm seeing, man, it looks like a gorgeous player choice, narrative-focused game. And honestly, it doesn't look like Tides of Tomorrow is going to be straying too far from that route. Now, I will say the concept that they're trying to offer is a little out there. They're offering a multiplayer choice narrative-focused game. Now, I feel like that's a lot to implement into a game, especially since they're saying based on the choices that you go about taking, the person who chooses to follow you is going to influence their story, and same goes on for you. Say you choose to follow a friend, based on the choices that they took, it's going to influence your world. I kind of want to see how long that cascading effect goes on. Like, is it a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend? You know what I mean? What will the ending of that friend get? You know what I mean? I want to see how deep this web goes, how long the story goes, how many endings we can get. You know what I mean? I love a good story game that's willing to offer a lot of choice and a lot of versatility, especially when they have a great narrative on top of it. You know, like I love Detroit Become Human. Absolutely amazing. And I just recently played Dispatch. Doesn't have a lot of different choices, but amazing nonetheless. So I'm very interested to see what Tides of Tomorrow is willing to offer us in this terms of this multiplayer choice story game that we're going to be setting ourselves out on. It comes out on February 24th, and I'm looking to pick it up. I'm kind of trying to see what we can get into. Going into the month of March, man, one of the first games I'm excited to pick up is Crimson Desert. Coming to us from Pearl Abyss, the studio behind Black Devs Online. What they're looking to do is turn everything that's good in BDO, they're going to place it in a single player title for us to enjoy. And I am not mad at that concept in the slightest. It's kind of hard to be mad at that concept in the slightest, you know what I mean? Like, if they nail everything, I would even go as far as to say is it could be a contender. It could be a contender, right? Like, it'll have the combat, the gameplay mechanics, it'll have the visual appeal to really grasp a lot of people. It just needs to have a good narrative design and story to really hook and cement us there. You know what I mean? Now, here's the thing. Said story has us playing as Cliff. He's part of a group of, I would say, like a band of fighters from across the lands that work really well together as a family. They're called the Greymanes. And where we pick up in the story as, the group had just got ambushed by their sworn enemies called the Black Bears. Kind of interested to see how that rivalry's been going on for a while. Point being is, after the ambush, everyone kind of gets scattered to the winds, you know, One Piece Luffy style. Everyone gets scattered to the winds, and you as Cliff, it's your goal to go around and essentially gather up your family and get them back together. But in doing so, the world or the fates have a plan for you. And that's kind of where our story starts to unfold. I'm interested to see how this plays out. But again, as I said, they really have to be able to nail this and get it down pat. Because if they can nail this, hey, the combat, the gameplay, a lot of that's going to speak for itself. The visuals can speak for itself. Got to get that story down, though. It drops on March the 19th, so if you're looking to pick that up, you do it, because you know damn well I'm planning to do it. It looks too good. March 19th, first of the month, I'm definitely there. Another title I'm definitely going to be trying to make time for in the month of March is 007 First Light from Nioh Interactive, my friends. Man. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I have not played a lot of Hitman games. They've always interested me. I like the way that the mechanics are set up and the way that you can kind of sneak through an entire building, assassinate people, or if not assassinating people, stealthing your way through using different disguises in the environment around you. Always thought that was super savvy. Thought that was super clean. The fact that they're slapping on the 007 skin on top of that and then allowing you to play as 007 Agent Bond and really have that sly, smug, you know, really disguise your way, and, you know, chat it up with different people through the different facilities and chat it up with different agents on the phone that are helping you facilitate your way through the facility. Man, all of that seems so interesting to get into, and I really like what Nioh Interactive is doing with this. And I'm glad that they're actually implementing the Bond story, and I hope that they continue to create a series if this one does very well. Yeah, man, I ain't got much to say. I really ain't got much to say on this one other than I'm just excited for this one to come out, especially since, you know, it's coming out as in the end of the first quarter of the year for us. So, like I said, March the 27th for you guys if you're looking to pick that one up. I'm hoping I can squeeze this one in, man. Now, I will say on these next 3 titles, there is no I'm looking to pick it up. It is I'm going to definitely, hands down, guaranteed, without a doubt, pick it up and put it in my library. Just because it's what my affinity for sci-fi stuff is always there. You know what I mean? I love me some good sci-fi. And so when I see a good sci-fi game coming out, man, I'm for it. What can I say? And first up on the list, man, is Pragmata. It's coming from Capcom. It's a sci-fi action adventure game, and it's set in the distant future where Earth has kind of found this end-all be-all resource called Luna Filament, and in finding this filament, we lose signal to our station that's able to research it. You know, and we get a little nervous in a little research squad up, and this is where we start taking our places as a character named Hugh. He's part of this research squad, or this response squad. And in responding to it, as soon as they land, they get hit with a lunaquake. The lunaquake separates him from his squad, and in trying to get back to his squad, he stumbles upon a little AI girl that's around the facility. You know, and we learned that she was created with the Luna filament. You know, she's called a Pragmata. And him and Hugh and this little girl that he codenames Diana end up creating a little bond, and she becomes the essential assistant to helping you figure out what's going on this lunar research station and trying to understand why we lost signal, right? And that story alone, to me, that story alone has me hooked, just because I like a good story like that. That's enough sci-fi for me to get hooked. But on top of that, we got looks like a good gameplay, good combat. You know, I like the way that she's sitting on your back and able to debuff enemies and allow you to just blow chunks out of them, as well as modify your gun to have different types of burst forms, slow enemies. I can imagine that the combat at higher levels is going to be real satisfying when you're selecting through multiple types of enemies, maybe dodging the bullets or dodging their attacks that they're coming at you while you're hacking, and then you're also blowing holes into them. It just looks like it's going to be too damn good, man. I'm excited to see what this game has to offer, and if they really nail everything, for me, game of the year. That's all I gotta say. I mean, there's some might blow me out my socks, but for me, I've been having my eyes on this one for a while, so I'm excited for this one to drop. Hands down, picking it up when it comes out on April 24th. Indeed. And following that, we got Control Resonant. The moment I saw this, man, I was like, yeah, I gotta go download Control. We gotta go finish it. We gotta get a full playthrough in, man. Every time you boot it up, you stop just finish it, man. You know what I mean? They did say that this one is going to, Control Resonant is actually going to be a sequel to the first one, which I'm excited for. The only difference is that it's going to be completely different gameplay-wise. Now, you're not going to be playing as Jessie Fadden in this one. You're going to actually be playing as her brother on a search through Manhattan looking for her. And this time, you'll be wielding a melee weapon where you're just bashing your entire way through, slashing, whatever type of shape-shifting form you could probably imagine is you're going to be able to shape your weapon into. Because if we can only imagine what we had in Control 1 takes place into Control 2, Oh, I'm ready for the gameplay, especially if we get to explore an entire world of Manhattan. I'm looking forward to this, man. Now we don't have an announcement date for this one, which is kind of a bummer. Getting into the titles that don't have too many announcement dates, but nonetheless, I'm still excited for this one to drop. And here to wrap up the sci-fi games I'm looking forward to is Directive 8020 from Supermassive Games, man. Yeah, the ones behind the Quarry, behind Until Dawn, behind Little Nightmares. You know, I never played Little Nightmares, but Till Dawn and the Quarry, the fact that we're getting essentially those games, that format, but in a sci-fi setting, chef's kiss, boy. What more could I ask for? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's super savvy. And like I said, it's like keeping the same format. You're still going to be going through different pathways, making different decisions, probably some quick time events. You'll maybe be getting different collectibles throughout your different runs that might help you in later runs, things like that. But essentially, it's still a horror-based story game, a choice-based horror game where you're going through, making different decisions, seeing the successes and the failures of the crew to see who survives and what type of story you're going to be able to get. Now, this one also doesn't have an announcement date, but nonetheless, I am still beyond excited. And following the few that I just mentioned, we got Outward 2 from 9 Dot Studios, man. This one, they're really just looking to improve on everything that Outward 1 was originally. And if you haven't heard of Outward, it's a sandbox survival game where that's it, survival is key. And I'm talking like your weight matters in your bag, where you want to drop your bag when you're getting into a fight, because if you don't, your roll is hindered. You want to make sure you're eating and drinking the correct foods for the buffs and the environments that you're in. Otherwise, you might be too cold right before you get into a fight, or you might be too hot and you run out of stamina too fast. You know what I mean? All the way to the point where your character doesn't start with anything. You actually have to go and find the area to get your magic. You don't start with a map. You have to memorize the location. This is a truly survival game where I thoroughly enjoyed my time in the first one, and I enjoyed the expansion. So I'm extremely excited to see what 9 Dot Studios comes out with in the second one and seeing what they improve upon. This one as well, as I said before, we're coming to the games that have no announcement date, so this one does not have an announcement date as well. But nonetheless, still excited for it. And ending us off, my friends, we got Marvel Tokkon. It's a 4v4 tag team fighting game. Well, essentially takes place of the old school Marvel versus Capcom. I would say personally, it gives me very heavy nostalgic vibes to Marvel versus Capcom. And honestly, I'm just excited to get a new fighting game that has Marvel in it. Don't get me wrong, I love me some good Marvel rivals. It's good, but you know, the screen scrolling fighter games, you know, talk about some Tekken, some Mortal Kombat, some Street Fighter, they always have my heart. They will always win my heart. So when we get in a Marvel Tokkon that is reminiscent to Marvel vs. Capcom with a 4v4 tag team, and we're already starting off with 4v4 characters off the jump, I think that's pretty sweet. And I'm excited to see if they can expand upon the roster and give us a lot, like really flesh out that roster, because there's a ton of characters in Marvel that you could really get out and have some fun with. That one is also TBA, but we do have a demo coming out here soon, so if you want to go ahead and check that demo out, I would recommend it. Those are going to be the games that I'm looking forward to picking up this year, 2026, man, with Pragmatica probably being the one I'm excited for the most, not going to lie. And then Control Resonant obviously is up there. Crimson Desert, 100% up there. Nioh 3, hands down on the list. Those will probably be the cores that I'm really excited for, with a few honorables, you know, Outward, probably my most honorable mention, then Tides of Tomorrow, another one as well. But yeah, my friends, that's going to be all the ones that I'm most excited for and most definitely going to be picking up this year. If you have any on your list or that you're looking forward to picking up, let me know down below. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And of course, sub so we can share some more info. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys on the horizon. Deuces.